Hello, this is Michèle at Jasami Bookworm Podcast, and I would like to welcome you to a very special episode. In honor of a night of poetry and music featuring Steve Logan, I have gathered some of Jasami's poets. I'm delighted to introduce Andrew F.M. Wilson, Claire Elizabeth, Manon Palmer, and Kirsty Watt. Each one will be introduced and read their poetry. And then finally, we will end with our featured guest, Steve Logan. I hope you enjoy. Hi, it's Michèle again, and I am delighted to introduce our Jasami poet, Andy Wilson. Welcome, Andy.
Thank you.
Now, you're going to be appearing on Saturday night at the Panopticon for a night of poetry and music. Thank you so much.
No, my pleasure. Looking forward to it.
As as a little teaser, you're going to read one of your poems for us. So if you'd read the title and tell us a little bit about how it came about, and then the poem itself, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, sure. It's one called Eyes. Back in the kind of late 90s, I used to have to take the train to work every day, and it was always the kind of same train there and back. And because you're standing there waiting for people, waiting in the train, you start to notice the same sort of people. So I kind of noticed these several people. So I wrote a stanza for each of the people. Just what my take on what I thought who and what they were, and I thought they were. So it's really all about that. It's called Eyes. So shall I read it?
Yes, please.
Okay. So Eyes. She stands in the same place every day alone. Eyes straight forward, never looking left nor right, for fear of finding in a stranger's eyes one more thing about herself she'd rather not know. So desperate to hide the secrets about herself, yet in the hiding she reveals for all to see. A few steps along stand a couple, him so tall, she so short, and yet they stand level. A look of love that the madness around cannot break. Their hands meet, lips smile, their eyes shine, they touch. They do not care what is revealed, nor do they see anything else. Eyes only for each other and damn the world. Behind is an old woman of indeterminate age, eyes that dart left, dart right, dart up, down, around. A look of fear as she looks at the world. So beat up by life, by love, or by what? Her hands grasp nervously, she never speaks, but instead looks at others, looks at me, and sees monsters. And as we pull from the station, a man sits down. The prejudice of life tells me that he's not right. He stares, and he stares only at me. Why? Does he hate me? Does he like me? Does he know me? As I look back, annoyed at his attention, his eyes grow wide, fear, and he disappears inside, leaving only his shell, and I can't see him anymore. In a place that teems with life, why do we stand alone? We are little universes, too much hurry to let anyone in. I look to the world, it is wonder, it's joy, it's pain, and I do not know my mind in all of this. These people, should I know them? Should I smile or frown? But the moment of transition is past, and we all go our own separate ways. That's it.
It's beautiful. And the way that you portray, observing people and how they are in their own life. I've noticed that you always do have a great insight in your poetry, Andy.
Well, thank you. I try.
So that's the little teaser, which I'll be announcing about the books and sales and such. But thank you for joining us today, and I'm
My
so
pleasure.
looking forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Look forward to it.
Hello, and now I would like to introduce Claire Elizabeth. She self-published her book, which she will give you the title of, as well as the poem that she's going to read from. Welcome, Claire.
Hi, it's nice to be here.
Thank you, thank you. And what is the name of your poetry book?
My book is called Confessions of a Trainee Adult.
And it will be available for sale on the evening of A Night of Poetry and Music. We will be posting pricings and such, so stay tuned on Instagram and all our social media. So what would you like to read for us today?
Today I thought I would read one of my poems from the book called Limbo. It sort of covers the themes of the book, which is all about that period of time when you're not quite a child, but you're not quite an adult yet, and that feeling of being stuck in limbo, I suppose.
Excellent, wonderful. I'd love to hear it.
Attics and cobweb basements, the blank space between words, waiting for a train, too early to walk straight on, not early enough to get a coffee. Airports and small-town convenience stores, the pause in a speech, the ghost town left in the summer after everyone else has gone on holiday. The space under your bed and behind your parents' closet, the stutter in an argument, standing on a beach with an umbrella rather than a swimsuit. Abandoned bothies and ruined castles, the unconscious laugh in an awkward silence. Having so much to do, it's easier to not even start anything in the first place. Nightclubs during the day and coffee shops in the dark, the echoing gasps of breath after a nightmare, running out of battery on your phone when you're still an hour away from home. Fields in the middle of nowhere and forests that go on forever, the choked sob in the middle of a sentence, waiting for a text that you know deep down is never going to come. Cities you've never been to and cities you thought you'd never go back to, the lack of a voice when you know it should be there, crying alone in the shower so no one knows to ask you why you're sad. The time between day and night, the silence when your thoughts are loud, the transition from child to adult.
That's absolutely beautiful. And I think it can make everyone hearken back to the days of, as you said, that transition period. So that was a lovely short poem. Do you have another one that you would like to read?
I do. I have the sort of, I suppose, flip side of that one, which is called Graduation, which is the end of the sort of arc in this section of the book about coming to terms with the fact that you're indeed actually perhaps an adult now, and it's time to say goodbye, I suppose, to the child, but also that that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just the end of one thing and the start of something else. So yeah, this is Graduation. Goodbyes are hard. At best, they're bittersweet, never fully happy, even if they're positive. Some goodbyes are necessary. Some are assumed from the start. My gran always says, the sooner you say goodbye, the sooner I'll be back. But sometimes that's not accurate. Sometimes goodbyes are permanent. Sometimes you don't realize it's the last time you'll get to say goodbye until you never get to say hello again. Hello, 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 I've missed you. Instead, there's a gap left behind, empty of words, empty of presence, no response to your hello, other than an echo of a goodbye. Sometimes you think it's the last goodbye. You prepare yourself, hold back your emotions, tie them down inside you with well-worn bandages. But then it's simply a goodbye for now. Whether you're sad or relieved doesn't matter as the bandages are peeled back, leaving wounds raw and exposed, and you don't know why you ever thought it was goodbye. The worst goodbyes are the inevitable but forgotten. They're the realization that you've lost touch. They're the I no longer know your names. They're the ones you never say aloud until it's too late. They're the goodbyes to yourself. The thank you for allowing me to become someone else, new, better. The I have no regrets, but I will never be you again.
And I dare someone to get through that without shedding a tear. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Because I feel myself tearing up now. Crying on our show, though. I loved both of them, and it's a beautiful taster for what you're going to read on a Saturday night, a night of poetry and music. Tickets are available on Eventbrite. It's been posted everywhere, so anyone that doesn't have a ticket, please sign on and get it right away. Claire, I look forward to seeing you on Saturday, the 28th of September, 6:30 at the Britannia Panopticon.
Thank you. I'm excited to be there.
Thank you so much. Hi, this is Michèle again. I'm here with Kirsty Watts. Welcome, Kirsty.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
And you will be reading a couple of poems and telling a little bit about them. So what's the name of your first poem?
So the first poem I've written is called Tapping. which is a Scots word for a tree root. And it's a poem I've got a little collection of poems that I produced for the Woodland Trust to kind of raise awareness of our wonderful woodlands and the Scots words that we use to describe them. So yeah, the first poem is called Tapping. So it's very short, but it hopefully give you an idea of a different way to look at a tree root. Tapping, sunken anchor, searching with tender tongues for puffs of air, wandering mineral wisps and water mist to drink. Silken shoots veiled in thick brown mulch, drifting as a tiny toe tapping root. Thank you.
Oh, that's beautiful. And it
Just short and sweet.
well, it actually does evoke, when you think of the spreading of roots and what they look for, and and how they support the tree and how large the trees get. And if it wasn't for the roots, the trees wouldn't be what they are.
Definitely. And yeah, we can't just ignore the trees. It's fine to look up above and look at the leaves and the flowers and the blossom, but look underneath and it's quite amazing what they get up to.
Yeah, I think the foundation's always strong. And what is the name of your next poem, Kirsty?
So I can do another woodland one, and then I'll do something a little bit different. So this one is, I've chosen it because it's my all-time favorite word. When I was researching this little collection, I found the word imicky amicky, which is a Scots word for an ant. And I just think it's wonderful. We should stop calling them ants and we should call them imicky amickies. And of course, ants live in the forest. So this is I've given life to the imicky amicky. Peeking out from under my crinkled brown duvet, checking it safe, all clear. My hazel cap bobbing above unclaimed leaves, we march together along forest floor. No fence line nor concrete crevice will stop me, because I'm the imicky amicky.
And it does talk about the adventure, how adventurous they are, and they go off, and then when they find something, the family comes for it. That's
absolutely, and they're so powerful. They're tiny, but they can carry so much weight, and nothing that humans do is going to really get in their way. They're going to find a way to carry on living, I think.
Yes, and they do the enormous weight they can carry. It's incredible. So you have another one for us. I can't wait to hear this next one.
So my last poem is called The Herring Girls, which is about, in the past, women from the islands, in order to raise a bit of money, because life was hard, they used to gut the herring in the herring fishing industry, and the girls used to follow the industry as it progressed through the seasons down through the British Isles. And the ones I'm from Skye, and the ones from the Skye and the Western Isles were particularly well known for their sort of hard working and determination, but it was a very hard way of making your money. So I wrote a little poem sort of in the memory of these wonderful women. It's called The Herring Girls. And there's two words in it that are in Gaelic. So the first one is kutak, which is the Scots word which is a Gaelic word, sorry, for the knife that they use to gut the herring. And the other word is scatan, which is the Gaelic for herring. The Herring Girls. Castrip, her kutak yields silver at the flick of her wrist. Castrip, he flies like a ribbon of sunshine into the swill. Castrip, his body dead at the hands of an island lass. Castrip, way down south she'll chase. Castrip, his brothers from port to port with Castrip, scarlet thumbs. Castrip, tougher. Castrip, from the sack they tore. Castrip, into a spiral of salt. Castrip, head to tail. Castrip, layer after layer. Castrip, a battle of solstices. Castrip, Castrip, and scatan. Castrip, seal. There's a silence at the harbour. Cooey, cooey. The call of the herring gull, the echo of a girl.
Oh, that's beautiful. Such a different way of looking at things, and the life that they had and what they had to do to earn a living in some way.
Yeah, and they used to, well, I mean, obviously they don't exist anymore. So, but the knives were so sharp, and they used to have to work so fast that they would often cut their fingers and have to bandage it with the twine, and then the salt would get into the wounds and everything. So it's quite hard. But they were known for being jolly and for being merry, and
a completely different life they had. Well, Kirsty, thank you for joining us for this ode of poetry that we've done for the event that's coming up very shortly, which I will talk about in the poem, which I'll talk about shortly. So thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be able to read my poems. And if you're interested in the little woodland ones, the booklet is for sale with raising money for the Woodland Trust.
Excellent. And we will put that link in the description so they'll be able to link straight to it. So that's great. So once again, thank you, Kirsty. We look forward to seeing you soon. Well, good afternoon, and I am delighted to introduce Manon Palmer, who will be reading the next poem. Hello, Manon.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Well, I'm very excited about hearing this new poem. Would
Thank you.
please introduce it and go ahead and read the poem?
For sure. This is a poem that I wrote, and I had the inspiration from it when I was driving, actually. I get most of my inspiration when I drive. And I was feeling a bit nostalgic from my life back in France. And the thing that I missed the most was my cat. So I just wrote a little poem for my cat. Should I read it just now? Okay. The fire crackles in the chimney. The house is silent, except for the little creature eating his favorite food in the left corner. Slowly, he approaches me, circles my legs. Come sit, I say. The fire's here. The velvet paws follow my stride. We sit. Come over here, I say. He comes. We sit. Him on my thighs, me on the tiles. The fire crackles in the chimney. The house is silent, except for the little creature and the rumble of his love.
Oh, that's so beautiful and so evocative and really brings it to mind. What is the name of your cat?
Baloo, just like the bear in the Jungle Book.
Oh, wow. And what color is your cat?
Oh, he's a little tuxedo, but instead of black tuxedo, he is gray. He's got beautiful fur, actually.
Oh, that is, and there's when they want to snuggle up and cuddle up, it's absolutely wonderful. Not every
It's
time.
very much based in real life.
Very, very true. So thank you very much for sharing that with us, Manon, and thank you for appearing on Saturday night. I can't wait to hear the other poems.
I can't wait either. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. At this point in time, I'd love to introduce Steve Logan, who will be reading from his poetry book, Heartlands, and the poem is called Gifts. Steve.
Gifts. Your birthday and your favorite time of year. The trees hold up frail blossoms to the spring. Each day is a first. You would have loved to hear the sparrows finding out what they can sing. You never wanted much. Just bring yourself, you'd tell me every time I offered more. Your smile and your indifference to pelf enriched me as I reached your open door. The tantrums and the fierce reclusiveness that made you want to bite a nail in two were livid streaks in what I nonetheless loved as the pearl that gave its name to you. The flowers on your grave I didn't pull. My hands are empty, Aunt. My heart is full.
Such a beautiful, beautiful poem. Thank you, Steve. Hello. I hope you enjoyed all of the poetry as much as I did. If you would like to join us on Saturday, the 28th of September, for a night of poetry and music featuring Steve Logan, just go to Google, type in the title, in Glasgow. Eventbrite will come up. We're also on Glasgow Live. And the pricing for the tickets is the best one available. It's free. So I hope to see you on Saturday evening. And in the meantime, as always, I wish you a sunny day.